Hey guys, um, I am here again with another question that was asked on my Facebook, and that question was, it's fitness related still, and that question is how to properly maintain and take care of your hair weave while you're working out, which is a good question, and a lot of people don't even talk about it for, I guess, I thought it was cool to wear weave nowadays, but I don't know, because I mostly wear wigs. Um, So I just take it off and wrap my hair up. But I just have a couple tips. It's not a whole lot, so it won't be a very long video. The first thing is that most of the time we have the long weave, so you always want to make sure you keep your weave off of your forehead, your neck, and your shoulders, because you're going to be sweating, and then you don't want the hair to get wet, because then what's the point? You'll have to put more heat on it, and we want to avoid having to put unnecessary heat on our hair. So to keep your hair off of just put it in a pretty loose ponytail. And I say loose because you don't want it to be too tight, because most of the time when we're wearing extensions, or even braids, our hair is braided, so you don't want to pull it too tight, because then we're providing tension on our real hair, which eventually will break if over time, and then you wonder why we don't have edges and whatnot. So just kind of have it in just a loose, little rough ponytail or whatever. And then you also want to, with the satin scarf, wrap the side so that your front and your sides and then your back are protected too. Which brings me to my next thing is, if your hair isn't long enough, or if you can, wrap your whole hair, like wrap it like with a wrap, you know how you wrap your hair around whatever, and then put a satin scarf on it. And you want to keep the satin scarf on until it's completely dry, which will help you having to, again, straighten your edges and your leave out. So you just want to put your scarf on and leave it on until your hair is completely dry, then take it off. When you take it off, you want to put some type of moisturizer. In this case, I would go more with an oil, because most moisturizers are water-based, and then if you are one of those people who are focused on your edges being laid or whatever you say, then you want to, that's when I would use like an olive oil or coconut oil or whatever oil that your hair prefers. So you just want to put that on there, and then you can also go into your braids and make sure you're moisturizing your hair. The main thing is we don't want this to get soggy and stay soggy. So you want to put a breathable material on your hair, preferably a satin scarf. Cotton scarves are okay, but you're going to be moving, and then the friction that it causes could potentially break your hair off over time too. So I said the moisturizing part, because the moisture is the key, because you're sweating, and you already know, like when you sweat and you dry your sweat off, the skin is real dry and then salty, and it's very acidic. So you kind of want to make sure you're not getting that and keeping it, so that I can just, go away, for lack of a better term. And then my last tip would be to stay away from like quick weaves, or like when you bond the glue in between your parts, because of course with the glue you use a blow dryer or most people use a blow dryer to bond the glue, but then if you got your scarf, even if you put your scarf on and you have your hair is bonded, when you sweating, it's getting hot under there, so you could potentially be loosening up that glue, and you don't want to go to comb your hair out, and then it's like, oops, you got a track in your hand. So to avoid that, when you're picking a hairstyle, I would just go stick with sew-ins. And then that leads me to my final thing when picking a hairstyle for if you know you're going to be working out in the gym. I would make sure that it is something long enough for you to put in a ponytail, so you can easily just put it up. You don't want something that's not manageable, because you don't want to have your hair be a reason why you're not working out. So hopefully that helped. The first one was to keep your hair off of your neck and your forehead and all of that. You always want to, and two, you always want to keep your hair wrapped up even after your workout. I know it looks a little ghetto if you in the gym with a scarf on, but what I normally do is I put a scarf on, and then I just put a hat on over it, just so you can't see. I mean, you can see it underneath, but just so you can't see my scarf. So if that has ever been a concern for you, like, you just don't want to go out, you've always been taught to not go out on your scarf. If you don't want it to be seen, put a hat over it. And yeah, and just make sure you just keep it moisturized. You always want to go in and hit them braids, honey, and of course your edges, and make sure that your hair is moisturized, and that should help you to maintain it. Even with natural hair, if you have natural hair, I would I twist my hair down and then put a scarf on it. Me particularly, I don't go in the gym with my hair loose because I am natural. So usually I just twist my hair down and wrap it up, and then like I said, I don't take it off until my hair, I know it's dry, like I can feel it and it's not damp at all. And then if you have relaxed hair, the same thing would apply. Just wrap it, put your scarf on, don't take it off until your hair is dry. Not till your hair, but till your scalp is dry. We're not talking about this part. We're talking about your scalp. Because if you don't take the scarf off, the scarf is basically laying your hair down. So if you don't take the scarf off until it dries, then you'll hopefully still have your hair laid down when you take it off. And moisture. We always want to replenish the moisture that has been leaving our body. You know, just like when we sweat, we drink water. We need to do the same thing with our hair. Our hair is sweating. It's losing water. We need to put it back in there. And so I'm not like an expert or anything. This is just for me trial and error and doing my own research. So hopefully, again, this is beneficial. I'm not an expert by any means. I'm just a mommy trying to offer what I know to people. So hopefully if it was helpful to some. And thank you again for watching. And I will see you later. Bye.